All right, Shalom. This is your brother Shamar from the Phoenix Camp. And with that being said, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Kakadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the brothers that are doing this work in truth and sincerity. And I'm gonna jump right into the scripture. This is Philippians 3 and 7. It says, "But what things were gained to me, those I kind of lost for Yahweh Shai." So what does that speak of? That speaks of a life of sacrifice. Because if you look at Paul's life story, his whole mission was his truth. His whole mission was the work, man. And he was a prime example of diligence. He was a prime example of a man on fire for the mission of the Lord, when his mission was to preach into the Israelite foreigners, or what they call the Gentiles in the scriptures. So he sacrificed all things, man. He lived not for himself. His whole purpose in life was to preach the gospel. His whole being, his whole living was for the work, man. And that's an example that Yahweh Shai set for us. That's an example that Paul set for us. That's an example that all the prophets uh, uh, they set for us. To make you understand that this is not a part-time thing. This is not something you just do when you feel like doing it. This is a vow that's made unto the Most High. This is something that's very serious, man, because what's at stake is our salvation. What's at stake is the glorification, of the Salakia, the glorification of our power, Mashiach Yahweh Shai. That's what our purpose is, man. To obey His will, to be the remnant, to be the men that have not bowed the knee. And that requires a serious mind state. Because everybody wants, it seems like everybody wants titles and positions, in this world, status. That's what social media is all about. Instagram, people are looking for status. People are status seekers. Like seekers, looking for likes, looking for status, looking for pats on the back, for a folly, man. But when you come into the truth, it could be at times unthankful, what they call an unthankful job or unthankful position. No one's gonna pat you on the back for doing what you're supposed to do. The, the Most High ain't gonna pat you on the back for doing what you're supposed to do. So you gotta live. You gotta understand that we ain't nothing special, man. And the sacrifices that we make, that's just a requirement. That's a basic requirement of a man of the Lord. I'm gonna run that back again. It says Philippians 3 and 7. But what things were gained to me, those I kind of lost for Yahweh Shai. So that, like I said, that requires a diligent sacrifice, man. That requires your time and effort into something that's greater than you. It says, verse 8, yea, doubtless, and I count all things but loss for the exceed of the knowledge of Meshach Yahweh Shai, my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things. That's how deep that Paul's sacrifice was, man. He suffered the loss of all things. It says, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and I do count them but dung. Rubbish. Let's get that word dung, man. It says, any refuse or excrement of animals, offspring, rubbish, dregs of things worthless and detestable. So everything is shit, caca, compared, you know, to to this truth. Even Solomon in the book of Ecclesiastes, which was Yahweh Shai in the reincarnation, if you can receive it. He sought out all the world's pleasures and riches, all the world's folly, and he came to the conclusion that it was all vanity, or that's another word of worthless value. Just like Paul saying, he counted them all. He counted all those things dung, or shit, or vanity, or worthlessness. So that's something to meditate upon, man. Because as we continue one of these last days, your commitment is going to be tested. Your desire, your faith, your standing. Because the Lord said He's going to search out Jerusalem with candles. He's going to purge out the weak from the strong. When I say the weak from the strong, I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about spiritually, man. Those men that have built themselves up in this truth. That's why when the scripture said that knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of your times, depending on how much knowledge and wisdom you have, it's gonna make a difference of how stable you are. Because if you really put yourself into this thing and you really gave it your best effort, then you're gonna be all right, man. But if you have fast in this truth and you were just floating along, like that old song, "Floaters Float On," you know, you probably just gonna float on. Then you're not you're not you're not gonna make it, man. So like anything else in this world, there's a saying that you get out of it what you put into it. So laziness and slothfulness and being a fucking lukewarm half-ass, hey, the Lord hates that. There's many scriptures that clearly state that the Lord hates lazy, man. The parable of the talents, the Lord hates lazy. You know, there's many scriptures that explain that. So the Lord, he's pleased with diligent men. But that's what a man's supposed to be in all reality. A man's supposed to be about his business. A diligent man, not slothful. Not slothful in business, serving the Lord, man, right? So to be slothful in business, to be lazy in business, to be half-assed in business, then you're not serving the Lord. Whatsoever that hand finds to do with all that might. So this is not a kickback thing, man. This is not somewhere to kick your shoes up. This is not the Christian church where you could just say a magic prayer and you're saved. You're just waiting for the fucking rapture, which is a complete nonsense. It's not that, man. This is a very serious thing. And I'm gonna get a few scriptures, probably close it up. So I don't make the lesson too long. It's a real quick lesson here at the plantation. This is a Mark. Let's get Mark 9:47. This is Mark 9:47, and it says, I'll just start at verse. Let me see. I'll start at verse 43. So if we'll run to this chapter real quick, or the remaining of the chapter. And it says, "If thy hand offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter into life maimed than having two hands to go into hell, that fire shall never be quenched, where the worm dies not and the fire is not quenched. If thy foot offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter into life than having 2 feet to cast into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched." And they're not talking about, the hell that the Christian church preaches. They're basically talking about the grave, man. Gehenna, which is another Hebrew word for grave. When the worm dies down, the fire not quench, and thine offend thee, pluck it out. It's better for thee to enter the kingdom of heaven with one eye. So the point of these scriptures is this: it doesn't literally mean that you should pluck out your eyes and cut off your feet and all this. This is symbolic. This is parabolic talk. It's basically what it's explaining is those things that hold you back from those things that offend, those things that hold you back from being, as righteous and as true and as sincere as you can be. Those things that offend. It says, "For everyone shall be salted with fire, and every sacrifice shall be salted with salt." Because all of us are going to be tried. All our works are going to be judged. It says, "Salt is good, but salt is where when you season it, have salt in yourselves and have peace with one another." Man, let's get the word salt. I don't know how deep it goes into. I never looked it up. It says, "Salt with which food is seasoned and sacrifice sprinkled." But we know that we're speaking symbolically here. Those kinds of saline matter used to fertilize arable land. Salt is a symbol of lasting concord because it protects food from purification and preserves it unchanged. According to the solemn ramification of compacts once were and are to this day A cousin partake of salt together, wisdom and grace exhibiting speech. So basically, it just means maintaining yourself, in this truth, maintaining your diligence, maintaining your uprightness, maintaining your integrity. That's the salt, because salt was used as a preservation for food, man. So that's what it is, man. So you gotta preserve yourself in this truth. You gotta make sure you're seasoned. You gotta make sure that you have that flavor, man, or that desire to do the work. You can't be doing this truth, dragging that. You can't be just dragging that through the truth, man. Going through the minimum effort, the bare minimum effort. You gotta if you don't got it, then you gotta pray to get it. You know, if you don't got it or you feel you don't got it, you gotta pray to get it. Cause like the brother at camp always says, man, you don't want to be in that day knowing that you could have done more, knowing that you could have done more. You want to stand in that day of when all hell breaks through, the day the Lord comes, knowing that you gave it your best shot, knowing you did all you could to serve the Lord sincerely. Basically, you don't want no regrets. We always liken this to a battle because that's how the scripture likens it. And you want to understand, you want to know that you fought the good fight, that you fought as hard as you could. That's why Paul said a fight the good fight of faith, because it is a fight, it is a struggle. There is always going to be a counter against you in the form of the flesh, in the form of the world, in the form of the women, in the form of whatever vice that comes against us. That's why scripture is talking about with the eye of you pluck it out, those things that hold you back, man. So that's the mind state. That's something to meditate upon. Because the Lord, that's the only man he really deals with. A perfect example of that is the apostle notice a great millstone. Those are men that haven't lost their salt. They haven't lost their fervor and desire for this truth. And that's a perfect example. The Lord gave us examples, man. The Lord gave us examples in men. Our leaders are examples. Started with Yahweh Shai, Paul, the prophets, the elders of Great Millstone. Those are examples, man. And you can't say that they're not examples because they sure as hell been setting examples, man, for years. But I'm going to get Matthew 13 and 45, I think it is. And this speaks of sacrifice also. It's Matthew 13 and I'll close it out after this. 35. And it says, Shalaki, is that it? Yeah, I'll start at verse 44. It says, again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a treasure hid in the field. So the treasure hid in the field is his truth. That which a man has found it, he hides it for joy. Therefore goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. He sacrifices everything. Because what he found is of greater value than what he had. Going back to what Paul said about counting it all as dung. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchant man seeing goodly pearls. When he had found one pearl of great price, once again speaking about the truth, went and sold all that he had and bought it. Going back to Philippians, but we're getting to me, I kind of lost for Yahweh Shai. So it speaks of seeking a better worthiness in life, a better cause in life. Because that's what this truth is, and everything is shit compared to it. That's just a real quick lesson. Most High will and hope was edifying. With that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kakadash, Kahala Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Let's keep on pushing. Shalom.